Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for the weekly SmackDown Event Center report. And now here's the man that will bring you the happenings on WWE SmackDown every Friday night, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans, 1977, episode 2333 of the show. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are had a wonderful day, and it's almost over because it is the final day of spring. But some say, according to most reports, it's the first day of summer. But it is, according to my calendar, it is the final day of spring because the summer equinox, as they call on my calendar, starts tomorrow. So we're about less than an hour away of spring. Spring weather. But it already feels summery already. You got summer weather out there already. Hence, I got the air conditioner cranked up and ready to go here. It was getting cold, but I had to quell that for a bit. Been a crazy day today, but nevertheless, I'm here. So LA Knight was in a sort of mood as kicked off SmackDown and addresses the Grand Rapids crowd because it took place in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And about fed up with Seth Rollins and his goon squad, and here comes Paul, I am the Walrus, Cuckoo Heyman, and Paul Heyman comes out and tells him to get out of Grand Rapids so something bad's going to happen. And so LA Knight's like, how about this, you and me have a match, and then all of a sudden here comes Paul Heyman, gets out of the ring, he says, I warned you, and here comes Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, the two Brawns, decide to go at it with Knight, but Knight does survive with a chair. So then Heyman was talking to both Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed in the back, and Byron Saxton interrupted them and said, hey, I just got word from Nick Aldis, one-on-one tonight. LA Knight goes one-on-one with Bronson Reed. And then all of a sudden, and Paul Heyman said something very interesting. He says, patience is not a virtue, it's a strategy. Interestingly enough. What's going on? Man, I'll tell you what. You know what? I forgot to tell you. You know why it's getting summery? Summer weather? You can tell. I got a haircut. Anyways. Yeah, I had to get a haircut. Needed it badly. Alright? Gotta look presentable. It's been crazy. Then the first matchup for the first match of action to kick off SmackDown is the Queen of the Ring semifinals, the first one. Former Women's Tag Team Championship partners going at it here as Asuka goes one-on-one with Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss is trying to go to the Queen of the Ring, and Asuka's making her return. So both women are basically making their return and trying to capitalize on that opportunity. And Asuka ends up winning the match with her new Empress Impact, as the hip attack now she calls it. So Asuka will face the winner of either Jade Cargill or Roxanne Perez. Now Asuka did face Roxanne Perez before, long ago in NXT last year or the year before. And Asuka ended up defeating Roxanne Perez. So, but Asuka versus Jade Cargill, though, I'm sure a lot of people will be rooting for Asuka against the Storm herself. Well, we'll find out. But speaking of which, B-Fab and Michin were talking to Jade Cargill, and then they say, you know, we got to make an impact of our own. Let's talk to Nick Aldis about the women's tag team titles now. There are reports saying that the belts will not be vacant. So I'm assuming that if that's the case, that means they're probably going to have Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. They worked with each other before in the past during the NXT days, and we're looking at the possibly the new team, the Easy Girls. Well, I don't want to say that because their last names end up with an EZ, but that could make a whole different meaning, so I don't think they should be calling themselves that. They should probably the Ladies of Judgment Day, even though, because Roxanne Perez is technically not a member, but I think that will be the deal. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. We'll see what happens there. As the ladies were talking, and Jade Cargill was watching the matchup, and Byron Saxton interviewed Cargill, asking her the potential of facing Asuka and trying to go for the Queen of the Ring, and she says, I am going to be the Queen of the Ring, basically. So, that is, if Jade Cargill wins, could this be, listen down, folks, I think I have a bit of a theory on this. This could go either way. If Asuka wins, people want to see Asuka and Io go at it for the title at women's title at WWE Women's title at SummerSlam. But here's the thing. You know what? No, you know what? I want to save that theory for after. After I get done here. Well, halfway through. I'll keep my thoughts to myself for right now at the moment. It'll come to me. The Secret Service and Chelsea Green starts making fun of Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss has on his face. And then Charlotte Flair, was sick and tired of hearing Chelsea run her mouth, challenging the match. And then Alexa Bliss goes, that's nice, but I don't need your help. And who says I was helping you? Then there was supposed to be a match between Aleister Black and Kit Wilson. They're pretty deadly. I think Elton Prince is hurt. And Kit Wilson was attacked by R-Truth, of all people. Don't know why that's the case. So there was no match. And then R-Truth calls out John Cena, officials and agents trying to get Kit Wilson to safety. And Jamie Noble was one of the agents that tried to calm him down. And in the back, Jamie Noble's trying to talk to R-Truth, calm him down. And then Aleister Black confronts him and said, why'd you get yourself involved in the matchup? And he's like, there's nothing personal, it's just business. And then Damian Priest, him and R-Truth have been friends since Damian Priest's Judgment Day. He said, listen, just leave him alone, I'll talk to him. And he's like, hey man, all that pent-up frustration, save it for the match. And basically that's what that's what R-Truth decided to do, is save it for John Cena. Cody Rhodes about to address the Grand Rapids crowd about the King of the Ring final. Jey Uso interrupts him and said, hey, when it comes down Monday, us one winner. Sami Zayn comes out and says, I got two of my great friends in the ring, but I got to win this King of the Ring. Randy Orton comes out. He says he's going to win the King of the Ring. Then they have their match. This King of the Ring semifinal one. And the winner will face, this is interesting, the winner will face Cody Rhodes or Jey Uso. The winner of the Rhodes-Uso matchup, Jey Uso matchup, and Randy Orton ended up winning that matchup with an after finally slapping that RKO on Sami Zayn. Meanwhile, Nia Jax addresses the Grand Rapids crowd about Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton interrupts Nia Jax and says, hey, how about this? You got your wish. Next week there'll be a title match. But it's not just going to be an ordinary match, it'll be the last woman standing. And then both women fight it out. Jax dominates Stratton. Naomi attempts to cash in, but Jax stops her a couple of times. And Stratton escapes with the title. Here's where my thought is. You think about it. Queen of the Ring. Everybody wants to see Asuka win because of her comeback and all. Get this. Let's say Jade Cargill defeats Roxanne Perez this coming Monday. All right, work with me here. I'm thinking that either during the last woman standing match next week, Naomi cashes in and beats one of the ladies during the match, pins Tiffany Stratton during that matchup to become women's champion. Jade Cargill wins the Queen of the Ring. Her and Naomi can settle the feud and try to go for the championship at the same time. Think about it. Compelling storylines, folks. And unfortunately, with Bianca Belair injured, we would ask where she would fit in. Well, she won't be she'll miss out on Night of Champions and Evolution. I don't know if they're gonna miss out. I think Liv Morgan's gonna miss out on SummerSlam. Don't know about Bianca Belair. She might miss out on SummerSlam too. Who knows? Anyways, so that was my theory on that. Charlotte Flair went one-on-one with Chelsea Green. Flair won the match with the figure 8, but then the Secret Service attacks Flair after the match, and then Bliss comes in to clean house of the Secret Service and Green, and she extends her hand to shake Charlotte's hand, but ends up Charlotte ends up walking away from it, walking by her, ignoring her. And then Solo Sikoa talks to JC Mateo. He says, "Hey, I'm going to handle this by myself. I will see you later." And who is this? Hello. Anthony, you have to bother me when I'm trying to do a video here. Anyways, Anthony Hardy, I'm trying to do a video here, dude. Now I lost my spot, thanks to you. Oh, Solo Sikoa. Talk to JC Mateo, says, "I'll handle this by myself." So, Solo Sikoa comes out, talks to Jacob Fatu. He said, "Hey," and said, "Hey, I love you," and all that. Jacob Fatu goes, "You know what? Nah, I'm challenging you for my title." And then both men fight. Solo Sikoa attempted to attack with the Samoan spike, but then yeah. Why is everyone messaging me when I'm trying to do a stinking video? Do you mind, people? Thank you. I need to do a video, man. I'm getting to the good stuff here. Anyways, Solo Sikoa goes to attack him. Jacob blocks the spike. And then they went at it. Here comes JC Mateo attacking Fatu from behind. They're going at it. And then Jimmy Uso, of all people, came out. Well, technically, Jacob Fatu is related to Jimmy Uso, I believe, either cousin or uncle. So, I don't know, or is Jimmy Uso wanting a championship for himself, like his brother Jay? We'll find out in that situation. Anyways, LA Knight versus Bronson Reed, 1-on-1. These guys went at it, and then Braun Breaker. See, when people interrupt me, I get screwed up. Anyways, Braun Breaker gets involved during the match and spears him, giving Knight the win by disqualification. And then they decide to attack Knight after the matchup, where Bronson Reed hits Knight with 3 tsunami splashes, not like 6 when he did to Rollins, and probably scrambled Rollins' brains. And then Fatu addresses Sikoa about the United States. "I went to the man. We're having a match next week." So next week, United States title on the line. In fact, it is the pre-Night of Champions, the last SmackDown before Night of Champions. 4 titles will be on the line next week. Jacob Fatu, both the United States titles are on the line. That's right. The men's title, Jacob Fatu defends against Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa held the North American Championship, by the way. And then the women's United States title will be on the line next week. Zelina Vega will defend it against Julia. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. And then the tag team titles will be on the line. The Street Profits against the Wyatt 6 members, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy. And then the last women's standing match for the women's championship, Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. R-Truth and John Cena was the main event. These two beat the snot out of each other. And as John Cena tried to retreat, R-Truth went to go after him. Cena hits him with the title. Disqualification victory for R-Truth. And then CM Punk comes out, fights with Cena. And then Cena knocks out Punk. Cena sets up a table, hits Punk with the AA through the table, and then Cena addresses Punk about how, he's a hypocrite and all this. And then he gives a shout out to Claudio Castagnoli, Nick Nemeth, and Matt Cardona. I'm like, what in the world is Cena doing? I thought that was crazy. And And then Cena retreats afterwards. He said, hey, he needs the big match next week. So, that is it for the SmackDown Event Center report for June the 20th, 2025. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show. It'll be a lot of fun. Tomorrow we have got the Card Sharks Money Cards video. There will be a disclaimer on that. And folks, I have come up with 10 of my personal favorite Beatles songs. I found top 10 of my personal favorite Beatles songs for Top Shenanigans charts down the road. I will deliver that list to you. So, until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home, baby. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.